Pep Guardiola was asked one question about Lamine Yamal.
Lamine Yamal!
His answer lasted 30 seconds, and inside it, hidden in plain sight, was a warning that almost nobody caught. This is not a pundit. This is the man who stood next to Lionel Messi for 4 years.
For me, I said many times, I've been is the best. Will be difficult to understand.
And decided, personally, how much football that body could take.
You know why Messi is the best player I ever seen in my life? Because he's a competitor. He's an animal.
The man who invented an entire position just to protect one player. When that man talks about a teenager carrying the Messi comparison, he is not giving an opinion. He is reading from a script he has already lived. He said the comparison is like putting a young painter next to Van Gogh. He said let him build his own career, and in 15 years we can talk. Then he said the part everyone scrolled past. 90 goals in a season, 15 years, no stopping, no injuries, and then 4 final words, leave the kid alone. Everyone heard humility. Guardiola was describing a load. And by the end of this video, you will understand why that load has already started to crack. The comparison was born on a summer night in Germany, Euro 2024, semi-final against France, and a 16-year-old picks up the ball outside the box and bends it into the top corner.
Nice curl! Oh, I say, what an unbelievable goal! The 16-year-old Lamine Yamal!
Like the moment weighs nothing. From that strike forward, Yamal stopped being a prospect. He became a prophecy. He came back to Barcelona and delivered a treble. He tore through Inter in a Champions League semi-final and became the youngest scorer that stage has ever seen. And then Barcelona did the one thing Guardiola would never have done. They handed him the number 10, Messi's shirt, on the shoulders of a kid who had just turned 18. And the moment that shirt went on, something changed that has nothing to do with talent. Because here is what Guardiola actually understood. The danger was never whether Yamal is good enough. The danger is what a club does when it decides a teenager is its entire identity. Look at the numbers. Before his 18th birthday, Yamal had already played 100 first-team matches for Barcelona. By 19, close to 200 senior appearances for club and country. That is more matches than Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo had played at the same age. Combined, almost 13,000 minutes of elite football in a body that is still growing. Messi never lived this. At 19, Messi was a luxury inside a machine. Xavi and Iniesta held the ball. Messi waited, conserved, and struck. Guardiola built the whole ecosystem so that genius was spent only when it mattered. Yamal has the opposite life. When Barcelona lose the ball, he sprints 40 meters back into a high defensive line that forgives nothing. When Barcelona need control, he drops deep to find it himself. There is no Xavi, there is no Iniesta, there is only him. And you might say, fine, he is young. Young legs recover. Barcelona's own squad already answered that. Pedri came through the same pipeline, carried a similar load as a teenager, and his body has been sending Barcelona invoices for it ever since, one muscle injury after another. The warning was not theoretical. It was standing in the same dressing room. Then, in February, the load got heavier in a way no fitness coach can fix. Ramadan began on the 18th of February. A full month, no food, no water, from dawn until sunset. Barcelona's medical staff built him a specialized plan, night nutrition, calculated hydration before sunrise, everything science can offer. But science cannot move a kickoff, and the schedule handed him 4 consecutive league matches, Levante, Villarreal, Athletic, Sevilla, all starting at 4:15 in the afternoon. Sunset in Spain that time of year is close to 7, which means warm-up, 90 minutes, sprints, duels, all of it, without a single drop of water. Not one of those kickoffs allowed him to break the fast before the final whistle. He never complained. He never asked for a lighter week. During water breaks in training, he walks away from the bottles and works with the ball instead. That is who he is. But discipline is not protection. And the proof arrived 6 days before the fast even started. February the 12th, Copa del Rey semi-final, first leg, at the Metropolitano. Barcelona walked into that stadium already stripped down. Pedri out injured, Rafinha out, Rashford out. Which meant one thing, everything through Yamal. Simeone knew it. Atletico scored in the 7th minute, then the 14th, then the 33rd, then in first half stoppage time, 4-0 before the break. A collapse so complete that nothing like it exists anywhere in Flick's managerial career. Now watch what happens next, because this is the entire video in one decision. Every manager on earth looks at 4-0 at halftime and protects his most important player, saves the legs, thinks about the next match. Flick left Yamal on the pitch until the final whistle. Deep into added time, in a game that died an hour earlier, an exhausted teenager was still swinging in crosses, still trying to drag a corpse forward on his own. That is not trust, that is dependency, and Barcelona has seen exactly where this road ends, because Barcelona had a Yamal before Yamal. Ansu Fati, 16 years old when he introduced himself to the world, 17 when he became the youngest scorer in Champions League history. The club crowned him, loaded him with expectation, and after Messi left, they gave him the same number 10 shirt they would later give Yamal. Then his knee gave way, the recovery was rushed, the injuries multiplied, and the player who was once valued among the most expensive young footballers alive quietly left on loan to Monaco. The talent was never the problem. The management of the talent was. And what did Barcelona change after watching that story unfold? The name on the back of the shirt. Which brings us to the part of Guardiola's warning that nobody wanted to test, because warnings only become real when they come true. This one did. This spring, Yamal's body finally sent the message his schedule had been writing for 2 years. A muscle tear, and what happened next tells you everything about how serious it was. Barcelona and the Spanish Federation, two institutions that fight over this player constantly, sat down and reached an agreement to jointly manage his minutes. Think about that. It took an injury to force the two most powerful stakeholders in his career to do what Guardiola had asked for out loud a year earlier. Now imagine the other timeline, the one where the man who said leave the kid alone is the man writing the team sheet. Guardiola does not fit players into systems. He builds systems around players. He invented the false nine so Messi could stop chasing shadows and start deciding matches. He kept Phil Foden at City for years, refused every loan, drip-fed him minutes until the player was ready instead of needed. In a Guardiola team, Yamal does not sprint back 40 meters on every counter. In a Guardiola team, possession is the rest. The midfield holds the ball, the opponent chases, and Yamal waits on the touchline like a loaded weapon. Everything stripped away except the one thing he does better than anyone alive. Barcelona today runs the opposite model. The team does not create for Yamal. The team exists off Yamal. Defenders send extra bodies to his wing the second he receives the ball, and every teammate who thrives in the space behind that panic owes him a percentage. Remove him from the pitch and the whole geometry collapses, which is exactly why they cannot remove him from the pitch. The club built a machine that can only protect its engine by turning it off, and it refuses to turn it off. And yet, right now, in this exact moment, the kid is still standing. He turned 19 this month. The next day, he walked into a World Cup semi-final against France, the same opponent, the same stage in the tournament bracket, as the night the whole prophecy began 2 years ago. Asked where the match ranked in his career, he put it at the very top. His national team coach sat beside him and told the world to let him relax and enjoy it. Let him enjoy it, let him develop, leave the kid alone. 3 different men, 3 different years, the same sentence. Guardiola was never doubting Lamine Yamal. He was warning everyone standing around him. The talent survived the schedule, survived the fast, survived the collapse in Madrid, and carried Spain to the edge of a World Cup final anyway. The question was never whether he is the next Messi. The question is whether football will let him last long enough to be the first Lamine Yamal.